I want to just do a small little video because I'm putting pictures up finally after years of sorting stuff. So this guy here is called John Maloney, and you don't get men like him anymore, I can tell you that for a fact. So I met John when I first started going out drinking. In fact, when I started going down my local pubs and I go drinking, and I talked to everyone anyway, and it just happened to be that he was one of those people that literally talked to everybody as well, and everybody knew him. And he always used to drink straight shots of rum, so double rum on its own, mixed with a bit of blackcurrant cordial. That's all he'd have, just to take the edge off. And that were his nightcap. Bearing in mind, he'd already been drinking all day. He was an avid pint drinker. We did share a few John Smiths together. And we had a right good laugh, and he always had a good story in him, oh John. And we used to spend a lot of time together, and then come end at night, he would always try and make sure and see me off, and I'd always see him off. And then I started working in one at local pubs, and he would come in, and at end of the shift, I am working on my own at end at night, and I've got to, clean up, stock take, cash up, and do all your bits and bobs before you go home. Now you're usually meant to chuck people out so that you've got, a bit of time afterwards to get all your bits and bobs together and get it all sorted in the pub before you go home and lock up. And I always used to have to come in first thing in the morning as well, before the pub actually opened, to do all the cleaning. So I was pretty much not living at the pub, if you know what I mean. Sometimes I would sleep there in the booths, just because, well, I've only got 4 hours. There's no point in going home and coming back. But John would stay, and when we did the line cleaning on the pumps, you would always have to flush out the lines, and always there was John and there was Sue, and both of them loved it when we did a little mini lock-in when I was doing line cleaning, because they got the free pints before the line cleaning fluid hit. So they paid £1 a pint. Now, no, we weren't meant to be doing that, but they were our locals, and they were good to us, and we were good to them. And whilst I was doing my line cleaning and doing all my hoovering and my mopping and me, wiping all that bar down and tables and everything, John would come in. Sometimes he would turn up 10:30 at night on a weekday, out the blue, full well knowing I'm going to lock up. And he would come for his double rum and black and a pint front line cleaning when the time came. And he would grab the hoover off me, and he would start hoovering the pub for me. And he would buy me a pizza. He'd always turn up with a pizza or order it to come, and tell me to sit down and have a minute and get some food while he did the hoovering or mopping. You don't get people like that nowadays. He was a big inspiration for me. You go and help folk. Even if it's not your job, you go and help, And I had some really good memories of John. He always loved dressing up. He always wore his best clothes, so you would always see him in his cricket clothes, or you would always see him in his suits. He would never not be in a suit, or his cricket gear if it were cricket day. But he did love fancy dress, so he'd love daft hats and daft glasses, and if there was a cause for celebration, he would always celebrate. Every day was a day to be happy for John. And he used to love karaoke. Everybody hated it when John got on karaoke, because he can't sing in tune, and he was ever so slow, far too slow. And he used to genuinely get really upset when people, made fun of him. But he genuinely loved doing karaoke, and he loved just having fun and dancing and singing and being the life of the party and telling stories. And if you needed something, John would be there to give it to you. even if the people was, taking advantage of him a little bit, because they know he would, he'd still do it. He would walk. There'd be three of us. There'd be me, Sue, who's no longer with us either, and John. And I made sure to get John home. He lived in a flat and he got his cockatiels up there and you could always hear him. And then I'd text Sue to hers and she got a grand flat. Say hello to her little doggy. She was a massive order, so I just had to go round and just double check that she could get by and she was safe. She never wanted me to go home. She always wanted me to stay. But then they'd be panicking then because who's walking me home? So, but at that time I was like, 23. I only lived a couple of streets away. I was more bothered about getting them home because they were in the pension age, One day, John told us that he got cancer. He got prostate cancer. And it was just at the time that my mama had got cancer. My mama's sister had got cancer. And it was like an absolute smack to the gut, Bad enough, I've got my mama and my mama's sister who are matriarchs of my family. I've now got the bloke who is the equivalent of my granddad going through the same thing. He was an avid smoker and a drinker. He fucking enjoyed his life. But I didn't want him to go that way. That was not a way that no one should have to go that way. It's so cruel. And he still kept high spirits and he still kept coming out right at last minute. I've got a video of him that's on my channel where he's running up and down pub pretending to ride a horse. He was very daft, like old-fashioned days. Laurel and Hardy, Norman Wisdom, Frank Spencer. Just proper comedy, just absolute daftness. Do you know what I mean? And I went to his funeral and I made this photo to go on his coffin. And we were all there. And then at the end of it, we all said our goodbyes. And I made sure to bring the photo back with us to the pub. And he spent a good couple of years in the pub with us lot still. Drinking with us. And then one day the hands changed. The landlords changed over. And I was so quick to go and get John and make sure that I got his photo from our local. And ever since then I've kept him with me. And he's just about ready to go up on the wall, finally. You don't get men like John nowadays that are genuinely kind, help anybody, make the best of every single day, dress up smart for it. He never had much or anything. He always used to give his stuff away. He told us that he gave his shoes away once and then came home with no shoes because somebody had got no shoes in Nottingham. We had another elderly gentleman that was just the same, and he lived around the corner from me. In fact, it took him about half hour to get to the pub, and it used to take me 10 minutes. So I always say, do you want me to walk with you? Do you want me to help you get there? And he said, no. He says, you race ahead and get me my pint ready. So I always did, and I always paid for it. We had some really, really good people. We did. I will never forget my time. John's a good lad. He's going up on my wall, and I'll just show you some messages on back. Look. Your chair is still here for you. From the landlady, look. I'm up there. And it's true. He will always have a place in my heart. And he did make the world a better place, and he is proper missed, We got some good comments on here. you know. Yeah, he was a good friend to a lot of people. He brightened people's day, you know. It's really good. So it's only gone and took me 7 years to be able to put him up, but he's finally going up. Then he's going to stay there till either I pop my clogs and go and join him and go and get that pizza and sit with him and have John Smith's, or my mum's house is taken from me for whatever reason, because you can't see the future. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? You know, hopefully that never happens, and you know, complete the mortgage, keep it forever. But this is an ode to John, because John, I never had granddad, I never had dad in my life. Uncle works away. This is like, he was the best male role figure I've ever had in my life. And you can't say that nowadays. You just can't. You know. I'm so blessed to have met him. So he's going to go up. He's going to go up today. Just want something somewhere in life, in the archives of the internet, where it'll stay forever, to just give an ode to John. Look at him. The happiest man in the world. And he used to talk like this, and I told you. And he never finished a sentence because he was thinking too much at once. And them knobbly knees. I miss him. A good bloke. Yeah. To John.